close our eyes and start to watch our breath coming in and going out very easily. Let your hands be comfortable so your shoulders can feel nice and wide and open too. And accept your breaths into the belly. If you're comfortable to come into those 3-part breaths, do, but don't force your breath. Just let yourself accept your inhales and your exhales. And releasing your hands on out beside you now, lightly touching the floor here. Let's inhale both arms all the way out and up overhead. And let our exhale bring our hands right down together in front of our hearts. And then we'll reverse and inhale the hands right on up through the midline. And on the exhale, open the arms on back out and down. And now just bring your hands behind you and loosely clasp your hands back there. And come on a little bit forward with a nice long back. Almost imagine you're leading a little bit with your chest. So you do feel that length through the spine. Be really mindful, just really enjoy. Come as far as you can, but don't force anything. Flex your feet a little bit. And then go ahead and release your hands in front of you to give you support. You can go as far forward as you want. So if you feel like you want to fold more over your legs, do. If you feel better to stay up higher, do. Just accept your breaths. Let the back. Get that nice, easy release here. And then come up enough to walk over towards the right. Let yourself come out over your right thigh. It doesn't matter, again, whether you fold over it or you keep yourself up high. Keeping your long back. Just be easy there. Feel a little more as you draw your left sitting bone back, a little more in your side waist. And then walk back through center and we'll come to the other side. So coming out over to the left. And again, drawing that right sit bone back just a little bit. Feel a little more there in your side waist. And then we'll come on back into center again. And let's walk ourselves all the way on back up, letting our arms come on out beside us here. We'll inhale both arms all the way out and up overhead. And on the exhale, lower our left arm down. Come on over into side stretch for your right side here. And for a second, let your palm face forward and spread your fingers out a little bit. Let yourself just enjoy. Feel the hand and feel that stretch down through the side of the body. And then we'll rise on back up. We're going to switch arms. And again, as you come over to that side stretch, turn your palm forward, spread your fingers out. Really feel your hand there, but feel that stretch through the left side of the body. And then we'll rise on back up and bring our arms on back down. We're going to switch the cross of our legs so you can stretch them out if you need to before you bring that other leg in front. And then from here again, clasp your hands behind you and let yourself come forward again. So again, it's like leading with your chest a little bit. Flex through your feet so you feel a little engagement up into your hips here. And just enjoy letting yourself find a little more into the hips here, feeling your back. And then go ahead and bring your hands again onto the floor to give you support. And now keep your hands centered, but let your torso shift over towards one side and then the other. So you're keeping your hands there, right at center, but you're letting yourself go back and forth a little bit. when you come back to center the next time, again, go ahead and stay. If you'd like to fold a little more over, by all means do. Good, one more breath. And then we'll rise on back up again and let our hands come on out beside us, letting yourself sit up nice and tall here. And then walk your hands back. Let yourself lean onto your hands a second and put your feet onto the floor so that you have your feet just about hips distance apart and parallel. Draw your chest a little forward. Let yourself open through the chest here. Good, and as we come back up to sit tall, we're going to extend our left leg out. Leave our right foot right there to the inside of the calf there of your right leg and left leg. And then we're going to come over into a twist here, bringing your right arm on behind you. You can have your hand rest on your leg. You can bring the arm across if you want towards the outside of your knee. That depends on you. Let it feel good. Lengthening up through the top of your head. One more breath. And then as you exhale your way back around, go ahead and bring this right foot so that you can cross your right ankle above your left knee and come on forward a little bit there. So really opening up through the back of that left leg. You can always put your hand on your foot, press your foot into your hand. You can interlace your fingers between your toes if you don't have socks on, so you can allow yourself to wake up a little more there in your foot. Or even massage your foot a little bit if you want to, right? And then we're going to rise on back up. We are going to switch to stretch that right leg long, and left foot's going to come up again, maybe close to the inside of your calf. And as you exhale, bring yourself around into the twist the other direction. So again, hand can be on your shin or your knee. You can drape your arm across if you want to. You can flex your hand and come into bending your elbow if that feels good. Just be mindful. See how it feels up into your shoulders. I feel really good. One more breath here. And then slowly unwind yourself back around into center. And let's take that foot off the floor so we can cross our ankle above our knee. Again, as you come forward, kind of do what feels good as far as you want to massage your foot a little bit with your hand or come into interlacing your fingers between your toes. Just be mindful. Let it feel good. Let yourself just wake up through the back of that right leg, but also enjoy feeling that release through the left hip. Good. And one more breath. And take your time when you start to rise on back up. You bring your legs on out in front of you, kind of shake out a little bit, circle around through your feet, move around through your legs if you want. We're going to come on around towards our hands and knees. So if you know you'd like a blanket, grab yourself a blanket to put underneath your hands or your knees or both. And then just spread your fingers wide. Really look at your hands. Try to feel as equal as you can in your hands. Pointer fingers about parallel to each other so you've got your wrist creases about parallel to the front edge of your mat. And then just start to ease your way through your cat-cows. So letting your breath carry you. Take your time, your own timing, right? Stop and cat or cow if you want to. Move through with each breath if that feels better. Enjoy that supple feeling of this flowing through your back, really. Finish off the one you're on. Come back to a more neutral spine. And let's look over to the left, lift our left arm up, and you can go up higher and higher with the hand if you want. That's up to you. It can stay more parallel to the floor. We're going to thread the needle, bring that left arm on down and through. Come on down to the left side of your head. And whether you want to stretch your right arm out overhead or maybe keep the arm soft and let the elbow bend, that's totally up to you. And then just enjoy breathing there into between the shoulder blades on your back. Feeling the release through the shoulders and the neck. And even imagine letting go more through your face. Almost like you could kind of melt down into the ground right there in your shoulders, your face. One more breath. And then let your right hand come back by your face so we can press our way on up to all fours. And we're going to go to the right side. Right arm coming up higher and higher if you want. All the way up, hand towards the ceiling or not, right? And as you thread the needle with that arm coming on down again to the right side of your head. And you decide here whether that left arm wants to reach out overhead or maybe you'd rather just soften your elbow. You know, you can try a little of both and see which feels like the best release for your shoulder. And then again, just let everything release here. Let your face go. Good. One more breath. And then let's bring the left hand back by our face so we can press up. And let's come forward to here like we're coming into a half plank. Lift your feet up, come onto the flesh above your knees. Pull yourself like you're pulling forward towards the front of your mat. Good, and then shift back and let yourself come towards pose of a child. Releasing as far back as feels good for you. Breathing into your low back. Feeling your elbows softly hug towards each other. And then we'll come on back up again and let's bring our left foot forward and come into lunge, but keep your back knee down. Let the right knee stay down. If you need a blanket under it, use it. Shift your hips forward. Let yourself just open up there through the front of the hip. Be mindful. Let it feel good. If you want to lift up a little more, bring your forearm to your thigh, but don't go all the way up at first. Just let yourself ease your way into opening through the front of that right hip. Good, and we're going to switch legs. So as you shift back to bring that knee back and bring your right foot forward again, as you shift forward, take your time. Keep on your blocks if you want. You can always get them up higher. Again, if you like to put your forearm above your knee there on your thigh, because that feels good, you can. Good. And then let's come on back with that knee. For a second, be like you're standing on your knees, if you can. You know, if this bothers your knees, don't do it. But see if you can come up, and if you need a blanket, put a blanket there. Find your alignment there, so you don't want to tuck your tailbone up under you. It's just like you're standing up, only you're standing on your knees. And then just lean back a little bit so your thighs engage. You've got a nice long back, right? And then you're just going to come forward. And you may not want to do too many of these, right? These little hinges back, because your thighs will really tell you tomorrow, later today actually. So just come a little ways, let yourself feel that engagement in the quads. Rising yourself back up, and we'll do one more, just letting ourselves release back, and then letting yourself come up. And now put your hands up on your low back. Hook your thumbs kind of just around the top of ridge of your hips there, and then start to draw your gaze up and just really enjoy. Hug your elbows down and in a little bit towards each other. Let yourself open through your chest here. Well, one more breath. And then we're going to release. We're going to come on down to step our left foot forward for lunge. So you know if you'd like to have your blocks underneath your hands, use them. And come on up with that back knee now so you come into full lunge. It does not matter And remember how far apart your feet are in your lunge. You just want to get comfortable and come into opening up through the back of your right leg. Good. And we're going to switch to the other leg, so however you want to come to the other side. Good. Let's switch again. Press those feet gently away from each other now. Imagine you're trying to make your mat longer with your feet. Float your left heel up just a little bit. Feel the left inner thigh dropping down towards the ground and your right inner thigh reaching up towards the ceiling. And then bring that heel on back down. We're going to switch legs again. So again, coming into your full lunge, letting yourself, when you float that right heel up, imagine that right inner thigh dropping down towards the ground and your left inner thigh reaching up towards the ceiling. And bringing the heel back down again, we're going to step forward and come on into standing forward bend this time. So be easy, use support if you need, you know that. Walk a little bit if that feels okay to you. Even coming into your feet a little more by lifting your heel up when you bend your knee. Let yourself then come on back with your heels down, but then lift both your heels up at the same time and go up as high as you can with your heels. Really feel the balls of the feet on the floor. You'll feel your toes. And then slowly bringing the heels down, let your knees soften. Let yourself come on into your Uttanasana, however you choose. You know you can hold your elbows. You know you can keep yourself supported. Elbows can be above your knees, or you can let yourself put your hands on blocks or the floor. And just enjoy watching, receiving your breaths now, all the way in and all the way out. Good. One more breath. And then we'll bring our hands on up to our hips. We're going to bend our knees and rise straight on up to standing and inhale our arms all the way out and up. And on our exhale, let our hands come right down to be in front of our hearts. Coming into mountain pose here now. So if you need to adjust a little bit, do. If you need to shift, if you need to look at your feet, just let yourself be easy here about feeling grounded equally through your feet. Once the pelvis is aligned, everything stacks up. Just remember, you want your head to be at a place where you feel no sense of tension, really, in your neck or in your face, right? There's that length upward through the top of your head. And as we let our arms unfold right on down beside us, we'll inhale both arms all the way out and up overhead. And on our exhale, bend our knees, come on forward into our standing forward bend. And on your next inhale, find that nice long flat back, wherever you like your hands to go, on your legs, on the floor or your blocks there. Really lengthen the spine. And we'll step our right foot back and come into lunge. And inhale, exhale into your downward facing dog pose. So coming into dog, hooray for dog. Take your time, adjust how you need. Walk if you like, let yourself be mindful. Let it start to just feel so natural. Your whole body in your dog. Really waking up the body. And we'll come on out towards a plank from here. Strong plank, really engaging your belly. Let yourself take your time to feel like you're pressing the floor equally away from you with your hands. And we're going to lower down. You can put your knees down first if you need. Elbows right by the rib. So let's come on into Sphinx. Go ahead and come to those forearms with the elbows wherever feels good for you, right? Under your shoulders or more back towards your waist. Feel your hands on the floor there gently. Actually, lift your pointer fingers up for a second off the floor. Let the other fingers stay grounded. And then pointer fingers come back down. And let's do the middle fingers, both of them up. the same time. And then exhale them back down. And then inhale your ring fingers up. And exhale them back down. And inhale your pinkies up a little. And exhale them back down. And now your thumbs a little off the floor. And exhale them back down. And press gently into your forearms. Let yourself open up here through the front of the body. One more breath. And then we'll come on back down, slide our hands by our chest. We're going to come back to down dog. Whether you come through a half or a full push-up, reaching back into your dog and walk your dog a little bit. Let your head turn side to side too. And then see if you can, bend your left knee, keep your right leg long, and just stay there for a breath. Look underneath your right arm. And then we're going to switch. Bend your left knee. Your right knee. Look under your left arm. Your left leg is long, and just enjoy that. Release to the back of that leg. Good. And then come on back to full dog. We're going to bring our right foot forward and come into lunge, however you need to get there. And then we'll come on back into standing forward bend. Feet right underneath this. If you can, lift your toes up, do. You might even want to take your hands and kind of wake up your toes a little bit, and even just squeezing, giving each toe a little bit of a squeeze if it feels good. Feel the four corners of the feet into the floor, the arches lifting up. And then just softly release your toes back down. Come into watching those breaths all the way in and out. Softening through your face. And we will bring our hands now back up to our hips as we bend our knees and rise on up to standing, and inhale our arms all the way out and up. And as we exhale, come down with the hands and up higher with your head. Imagine your head is getting closer towards the ceiling, just so you have a lot more space in your spine already. Feeling the hands very lightly connected there in front of you. Feeling your shoulders nice and wide and open. And let's inhale the hands right on up through the midline. And on the exhale, open the arms like wings as we come on forward into standing forward bend. And let your next inhale help you find that flat back. And this time we'll step the left foot back and come into lunge. And inhale. Exhale into your down dog. And coming back to dog. Feels probably a little bit more natural now. And again, if you need to walk the dog, do. Spread your fingers wide, hug your elbows towards each other. Good, and we're going to come on out to plank from here. Really engaging the belly. Let yourself feel the sitting bones reaching for the heels. Then let's put our knees down and come down to a half push-up. Really, really slowly, elbows by the ribs. And from here, come back onto your forearms, into your Sphinx pose for a second. Turn your palms down, spread your hands out, really feel good here in your Sphinx. And then come halfway down from your Sphinx and slide your hands back by your upper chest. So you're about halfway. It's a lot of work in the back without having your forearms there to support you. But just enjoy using your back body there. And then lower your head, forehead down for a second. Bend both your knees. Flex your feet and pull your heels in towards your buttocks a little bit. Let yourself just release there. One more breath. And then bring your legs back long again. Come on up again into that little cobra. And if you want to keep on going, go right ahead. Come on into pressing into your hands, coming up to elbows hugging towards each other. And then from here, we're going to slowly release back down to the floor. And we're going to come back to down dog, whether you come through a half or a full push-up. Reaching your way back into dog. And we'll bring our left foot forward to come into lunge. And then we'll come on back into our standing forward bend. Full deep breaths. Let go through your face. Let your arms go wherever they want to go. Nice, easy expansion of the ribs as you inhale. Feeling the weight of the head, especially when you exhale. Like the top of the head wants to get even closer towards the ground when you exhale. And then we're going to release our arms. Let your arms be like wings as you bend your knees and rise on up, and inhale your arms all the way out and up overhead. And on your exhale, letting your hands come right down to be in front of your chest, in front of your heart. Come into your mountain pose. Let yourself feel very balanced. Getting ready to move with your breath, and really just let the breath easily help you flow through these two sun salutations. So as we release our arms on down beside us, we'll inhale both arms all the way out and up, and let our exhale carry us forward. Inhale into that nice long back, and exhale right foot back to lunge. And inhale, exhale into our down dog. Let our inhale bring us to plank. Exhale will lower us down, and we'll inhale into our cobra, and exhale back to our down dog. Inhale, exhale right foot forward to lunge, and inhale. Exhale to your standing forward bend. Bend the knees, rising all the way to the top of the breath. And let your exhale bring you forward. Let it feel easy. Inhale, nice long back. Exhale, left foot back to lunge. And inhale, exhale into your down dog. Inhale your way out to your plank. Let your exhale lower you down. And inhale again into your cobra. And exhale back to down dog. Inhale. Exhale, left foot forward to lunge, and inhale. Exhale to your standing forward bend. Bend the knees, rising to the top of the breath, and let your exhale bring you forward. Inhale, nice long back. We're going to come into down dog, however you choose. Make your way to your dog. Wag your tail around a little bit. Like actually shift your hips one side to the other. So you really put your weight more on one leg and then the other leg. Good, and then come on back into your full dog. And now focus on your navel. See if you can make little circles with your navel in your dog, right? So the exhale draws the navel towards the spine. The inhale brings it around and down, and then exhale again when you head back up into that drawing navel towards the spine. This is kind of fun. Reverse direction if you can. Feeling the belly working, the low back, and really waking up all around the belly right easily. Finish off. We're going to bring our left foot forward. And we're coming up for warrior one. You may want your blocks handy. Let yourself get positioned with that back foot and the length of stance where you're good to be, drawing your shoulders around square. Let yourself kind of wiggle around through your fingers a little bit. Check out the alignment of your front knee. Good. And then bring your gaze on forward. Let yourself just really easily feel very balanced in your warrior one. You know, so even though you're asymmetrical in your legs, you still feel really balanced. Right to left, front to back, right? And let's inhale our arms just forward and up overhead. Stay for a breath here. Turn your pinkies towards each other. Just keep your gaze forward. And on your next exhale, we'll lower the arms right on back down. And we're going to do that again, but we're going to keep going with it. We're going to inhale the arms forward and up. And then we're going to exhale and let them come back down into a circle down the back of the body here. And then let yourself hang for a second with your arms. And now we're going to inhale the arms again, forward and up overhead. But this time we're going to bend our elbows and interlace our fingers and put them right at the back of our head. And now keep your gaze forward. Press your head gently into your hands without lifting your chin up. Feel what happens, right? Press your feet away from each other, man. You're so engaged in the core of your body right now. Now, and you're going to start to let go of the back of your head. So don't keep pushing back, because then your head will just fall backwards, right? So see if you can just start to release the hands up into that mudra of pointer finger up. letting yourself really engage elbows inward. And it is up to you whether you feel like you want to look up higher. You don't have to keep your arms in line with your ears. You know that. Be where you're okay in your shoulders to be. Let yourself experience that uplift through the front of the body, that downward flow through the back. In your warrior one. One more breath. And then bring your gaze forward. Let your hands come right down through the midline, coming into prayer, hands in front of your chest. And now we're just going to lean forward to find a nice long diagonal line down the back of the body. So you're not folding forward. You're actually really coming into a long line here. You really feel your legs working, your hips. One more breath. And then release your hands on down towards blocks of the floor. We're going to find lunge now, letting that heel, that right heel, release directly behind us. Adding your twist of choice. So whether you want to bring your left hand up to your low back or stretch it up, or maybe you want to do twisted prayer, that's up to you. You come to where you can be. Think of your head being in line with your spine, finding that long line down the body really. Reaching out through that inner right heel and forward and out on that diagonal line through the top of your head. And then we're going to bring our hand on back down. We're going to straighten the front leg out and find pyramid pose. So you might need to adjust the length of your stance, obviously. Lowering that right heel down, foot turned out maybe 20, 30 degrees. Thighs are engaging up towards the hips. You're more than welcome to stay up with a longer back, right? You're more than welcome to fold forward over your leg if that feels really good. Thighs are still lifting up. Remember, protecting yourself by having that engagement in your legs, but allowing the backs of the legs to open up there. Good. One more breath. And now come on back up so you can find lunge again. Let yourself come up to release into that lunge. And we're going to make our way back into downward facing dog pose. Once you're in dog, walk through to the tops of the feet a little bit so you can stretch out. Really releasing into the tops of the feet. Take your time to do that. Good. And then come on out to plank, nice and strong. And come through for a back bend. If you want to go down first and then press up to up dog, do. Otherwise, come from your plank to your up dog. And then we'll make our way back again into down dog. And let's do that again. Come out to plank. If you can go through to your up dog, do. If you'd rather come down to do that, do. And then we'll come on back again into down dog. And then we're going to come down with our knees. And we're going to let ourselves shift back to sit on our feet. If this is too much for you, don't do it. Grab a block, sit with a block between your feet. But it just for just not long are we going to sit here. Just give our thighs time to release. Give our spines time to really easily align. Letting yourself feel a little stretch in the tops of your feet. Good. And then we're going to come on back forward to our forearms for a second. Clasp your hands, send your pinky finger out, press down into your forearms, and really just go ahead and lift up for a little dolphin. Walk your feet on up to where you're comfortable. Let yourself just ease your way into feeling your shoulders. Let your head hang. Good. And then bring your knees on back down. And stretch your arms forward so you can then come up to all fours and come on back into your downward facing dog pose. Good. And from here, we're going to bring our right foot forward. We're coming up for warrior one. So take your time. Get situated with that back foot. You know, if you need your feet a little wider apart instead of lining up your heels, by all means do that. Get your shoulders around. Kind of let your arms release. Get that alignment of that front knee. Just let it feel easy. And then again, when you bring your gaze forward, try to feel that sense of balance between your feet all the way up through your legs into your hips. Feeling really easy with your shoulders squared off. And this time, remember, we're going to inhale the arms forward and just coming up overhead. Keep your gaze forward. Stay here for a breath. And then we'll release the arms right on back down through the path they came up. We're going to do that again and keep going with that circle. Inhaling the arms out and up, and exhaling when they come back behind us. And come right on down. Good. And then we'll inhale the arms all the way out and up, and bring our hands down to clasp behind the head. Now again, keep your chin parallel to the floor. Press your head into your hands. Feel what else happens when you do that. It's kind of like you want to press your feet away from each other too. You just feel very stable here. And just enjoy now. Remember, you don't want to keep pushing your head back because then it'll just go right back behind you. When you release your arms up and clasp your hands and send your pointer finger up and hug your elbows in. Now this lift is totally up to you. Let yourself be where you can. You don't have to add this little bit of a lift upward to be in a warrior one. You can be directly forward with your gaze. Depends on how you feel. Really just be mindful. Enjoy feeling your whole body in the pose. And then we'll bring our gaze forward. Hands come right down through the midline to be in front of our hearts. And we're going to lean into that long diagonal line. So it's really probably not very far, right? Really depends on your stance, of course. But you don't want to break here at the hips. You want to be really nice and long. Good. We're going to release hands down. Find our lunge. So remember, you can use blocks. You can do whatever kind of twist you want here. So you can bring your right hand on up to your hip, your low back. You can reach the arm up if you want, or you can come across with your left elbow to your right knee for twist of prayer. So that twist is your choice. Just enjoy as much length as you can find in your spine. Beautiful. One more breath. And then let yourself release to come on back down to your lunge. We're going to head to pyramid. So again, you're probably going to have to kind of shorten up a little bit in your stance to get that left foot on the floor turned out 20 or 30 degrees. Thighs are engaging up towards the hips. And again, if you feel like folding over, go for it. If you'd rather stay with your long back, do. Just appreciate what the legs are doing right now. There's a lot of work going on. You're not just like, releasing your muscles and hanging on your bones. You're lifting your thighs upwards. You're very much engaging in the muscles. But you're trying to, not tense up in your upper body. Good. One more breath here. And then we're going to come up enough to find lunge. So let yourself come on back into your lunge. And we'll make our way back into downward facing dog pose again. Walk to the tops of the feet again. Give yourself a little bit of work there. Good. And then let's come on out to plank. And let's come into side plank, either right knee down as a kickstand or a full side plank onto your right hand. And letting yourself reach into your side plank. Now take your time. You know that. Just enjoy coming into that side plank, and then we'll come on back through. We're going to go the other side. So again, you can put your left knee down. You can decide to do full side plank. You don't need to. You can use that left foot like a kickstand. And then we'll come on back down. Come onto your plank. Walk your plank a little bit. And then come back to down dog. Walk your dog a little bit. Wag your tail if you want to. And then you're on your own. What do you need to do? Do you want to come out for vinyasas or kriyas? Do you want to put your knees down and rest? Totally up to you. Follow what your body needs to do today. Pay attention to how you feel. Good. And then we'll meet back in downward facing dog pose. And this time we're going to bring our left foot forward. We're coming out for warrior two. So lining up those heels, getting ourselves into alignment there with that front knee. And then bring your arms up into a really wide open V. Turn your palms to face each other. Let your shoulders really melt down. Feel energy all the way out through the tips of your fingers as you're up into this wide V with your arms. And feel your feet in the floor. And then turn your palms away from each other and lower the arms down to warrior two arms. Looking out over the top of that hand, letting yourself enjoy. And we'll turn the left palm up. We're going to inhale, reach up or behind yourself a little bit. Nice inhale into the left ribs. And on the exhale, come on into your side angle, hand or forearm to your thigh, rising the right arm up into line if you're able to. Turning the pinky down. Enjoy pressing into that forearm or hand, finding that sense of drawing the outer left hip back a little bit. Good. We're going to come back to warrior two from there. Press those feet away from each other as we come. And then we'll let our hands come down. We're going to turn our feet. Now try to get your feet parallel where you're kind of comfortable to be, how wide you are. We're not going to go down quite yet, okay? And then just bring your arms on out beside you, a little bit higher than your shoulders. Let yourself just enjoy. Feel the feet in the floor. Press the feet a little away from each other. Feel your inner thighs melt their way behind you, but without tucking your tailbone up under you, right? And then lower your left arm down. We're going to reach our right arm up higher and go over into side stretch. Slide that left hand down your leg. Turn your palm forward like we did at the beginning of class. So the palm faces that front long edge of your mat where you're looking. And then we're going to rise back up. We're going to switch arms. And we're going to come in and sliding that right hand down the leg and come into stretching through the left side of the body. Good. And then we'll come on back into center. Arms out a little higher than your shoulders again. Five-pointed star. We're going to bend our knees and come on forward now. So, use your blocks if you want. Make your way to where you like your hands to support you. Go ahead and adjust your feet, adjust your stance, bending a knee at a time if you need to. And then when you come back into center, let yourself just take your time to be mindful about where you want to go to stay. And maybe you want to support with your blocks. Maybe you want to just let your hands come towards between your feet. But just accept those nice, full, deep, even breaths. One more nice, full, deep breath. And then walk your hands out so you have a nice long back. You can use a block under your hands if you want, or you can have your hands on the floor. So flat back here, we're going to add twist. So your left hand might want to come a little more to the midline. Right hand on up to your back. Roll that shoulder up. And let yourself enjoy coming into that twist in the middle of your back. And then we'll release to bring the hand back down. We're going to go to the left hand up. And again, just easily roll that shoulder up. Find that twist in the middle of the back. Feel the feet in the floor. And then we'll release to come on back. And we're going to walk on back over to our left foot to come on back into lunge. And we'll make our way back into downward facing dog pose. Good. And from here, bring your feet a little closer together, lift your right leg up in the air, and go ahead and open the hips. Stack that right hip on top of the left. Bend your knee a little bit, flex your foot. And then straighten the leg out, but still keep it turned out. So you're still looking under your arm, and you're still stacking your hip on top. And then turn your toes to face down and lower that foot down, and we'll do the left leg up. And we're going to bend the knee, and again, as you look under your left arm, and you bend the knee, you're really reaching back through that knee, letting yourself open up there in the back of your right leg. And now get straight in that leg, straighten that left leg, but you're still turned out. You're still looking under your arm, stacking your hip up. And then lower to put the toes to look down at the floor. Square your hips. Bring your feet back down. Let's shift down with our knees and back into pose of a child for a second. When you do, see if you can bend your elbows and put your hands on your upper back. breathe. Let your breath come into your low back. Let your wrist release. And then bring your arms back down. Let's come up and thread the needle with our left arm. So we're going to thread through, let the left palm face up towards the ceiling. And then go ahead and reach your right arm like you're doing down dog up towards the front edge of the mat and let yourself release there. And then bring your right hand back. We're going to go to the other side. So again, right hand threads through. And left arm comes up so that you can now just breathe and release, both in your low back and in your upper back. Good. And then come on back, forward onto your forearms again, like we did before. Clasp your hands. Send your pinky finger out and lift up into that dolphin pose. You can walk your feet up a little bit if you want. Just get easy. Let yourself press into your forearms. Enjoy letting the head hang. Good. And then we'll bring the knees on back down. We're going to come on back to down dog. So bringing your hands to the floor and reaching your way back into your downward facing dog pose. Take your time. We're about ready to come to right foot forward to come to warrior two. So be mindful as you come on up. Line up your heels. Get comfortable in finding that alignment and that length of your stance. Good. And then this time, let's bring our hands behind us and clasp them. Let yourself feel open across your chest, but you can tell when your hands are right back there on your bottom what you're doing with your pelvis, you know. So make sure you're not tucking your tailbone up under you. The tailbone is reaching down, maybe even back a little bit, right? Feel the hips here. Let yourself enjoy coming into a 3-part breath. And then we'll release our arms. We're going to float them on up into warrior two arms, reaching out through the fingertips, feeling energy all the way out through the tips of the fingers. And really do imagine your arms are growing out of your back, being held up from underneath, not the tops of the shoulders, right? We'll turn the right palm up. We're going to inhale and reach up into that reverse warrior. Nice full breath as you bring your breath into the right ribs. And on your exhale, come on into your side angle. So again, whether you put your hand, your forearm, doesn't matter. Adding that left arm up if you're able to. And finding that long line down the body, down the side, left side of the body. Beautiful. So one more breath. And then we're going to come on back into warrior two, pressing those feet away from each other as we come. And as our arms come down, again, we're going to turn our feet, but this time turn into a goddess so that you turn your toes out a little bit. Bend both your knees a little. You don't have to go real deeply. It's up to you. Shift a little bit side to side if it helps you adjust, right? And then come on into goddess arms. Spread those fingers wide. Let yourself enjoy. And now stay really strong in your legs. As you exhale, draw your hands and forearms towards each other in front of you. And as you inhale, open back out into those goddess arms. So the exhales will bring the arms forward. And the inhales open them back wide. And then one more time, letting yourself come into that releasing into the shoulders, opening back wide. We're going to straighten our arms and our legs out and come into that X. Let yourself feel like the letter X. Feel your feet on the floor. And then bend the knees, bend the elbows, come back into your goddess. See if you can float your right heel up a little bit. And then put it down, and then float your left heel up a little bit. And then put it down. Come into straighter legs. Lower your arms down and turn your feet more parallel. And we're going to come on forward into wide-legged forward bend. You know, grab your blocks if you like. Once you get there, if you need to adjust your stance, do. We're going to walk over then towards our right, so take your time. It doesn't matter whether you go all the way over to the foot or maybe you want to shift your block to the right. Stay there for a breath. And then come on back to center. We're going to walk over the other way. So as you come over again, you get to the place where you want to stay, and you can just stay and be with your breath. Good, and then we'll come on back into center again. And take your time, set yourself up here. And, you know, if you like to grab blocks, grab blocks. You can use your forearms onto blocks, your head onto blocks. You know you're welcome to let your hands walk back behind you or anything that feels good. Maybe you're putting your hands on your back, of course. Just be mindful. And let it feel so easy just to watch your breath. So you get so comfortable in your body that you can just receive those breaths in and out very easily. Good. One more full, complete, deep breath. Dog. Take your time there. Let's think about how we want to come forward. Do you want to jump? Do you want to walk? Do you want to just ease your way forward with one foot? Just come forward however you want into your Uttanasana. Once you get there, shift a little bit up to the balls of the feet and then back to your heels. You can bend the knees, when you come up to the balls of the feet. Or when you come back to your heels. But just literally shift heels up and then balls of the feet up. So you're really shifting all the way as much as you can forward and back. And then end up back where you feel even between your feet. Come into your Uttanasana wherever you like to be as far as support. And then let your hands come on up to your hips, bend your knees. We're going to rise on up and inhale our arms all the way out and up overhead. And as we exhale, let our hands come right down to be in front of our hearts. So just easily find your mountain pose. Be mindful about feeling stacked up, but once you get there, it's so easy to be in mountain pose. You can just let yourself calmly watch your breath. And whatever little adjustments the body does, just see if you can accept them, right? And then we'll go ahead and let our arms come on down beside us and move around however you need. You know that. We're going to bring our mats into a wall. So bring short edge in and get yourself set up there. So it feels really, got everything with you. You're going to stay comfortable to be there. Good. And let's get a block. And let's bring the block, let's turn our left shoulder to the wall, bring the block to its lowest height. we're actually going to step up on the block for tree pose, all right? So stepping onto that block, and you know, only you can tell when you step up here and you think about bringing your right foot in for tree pose, whether you want to do this or not. So if you don't want to be up on the block, don't do it. If you want to feel 4 inches taller, it's kind of a fun way to do it. And then you can decide, you know, do you want to bring yourself into balance here? Or do you want to keep your hand on the wall? You can always bring your arms up if you want. You can use the hand to the wall as much as you need. And just remember that you are up. You know, you're not right at floor level with that left foot. So if you need to come down, you know, make sure you're careful about it. And of course, if you need to put your hand back on the wall, do it. Feel the foot gently coming into your inner leg coming gently back into your foot. Good. And now put your hand back on the wall to step down. Turn to face the wall. Let yourself come into a down dog with your hands at the wall, whether they're fists or maybe you have your hands flat to the wall. 90-degree angle at your hips. Get your feet right underneath you. Let your feet come pretty close together, a little closer than usual for your mountain pose. And then lift your left leg up in the air behind you into a warrior 3. Toes are pointing down, pressing equally into the wall, elbows hugging towards each other. Imagine you're drawing your hip pointers towards each other. Really enjoy. Bend your right knee just a little bit. Give yourself a little break and then come into that straighter left knee. Reach back through your inner left heel. And we're going to release to step forward and right away. Turn on around. And again, we're going to step up on that block with the right foot. We're going to come into tree. So take your time and get your foot into the level you like it to be, below your knee or above your knee. And then you can decide, hold on to the wall for dear life and don't let go. If that's the kind of day you're having, just do it, right? If you know you like to bring your arms up in balance or keep your hands at your heart in balance or bring your hands behind you in balance, you know. Just play. Use the wall as much as you need. Good. One more breath. And then when you're ready to come down, hand to the wall. Come on down, remember, and then turn to face the wall. And again, we're setting up for that warrior 3, so really get your hands in that place where you feel good in your shoulders, maybe to the outside edges of your shoulders, really. So you've got to get that left foot in the right good place to be a post leg before you rise the right leg up. Turn the toes down towards the ground. Press equally into your arms. Feel your elbows hugging towards each other. Imagine you're drawing your hip pointer bones towards each other. Just enjoy coming into your warrior 3, finding that length through the whole body. Beautiful. One more breath. And then let yourself walk on back in. Turn around with your back to the wall. And we're going to come on down into a child's pose with our toes touching the wall. So let yourself set up, easily bringing yourself into your child's pose where you feel the most relief. Doesn't matter whether your arms are overhead or back alongside your legs, or if you like to bend your elbows and put your hands to your back again, that upper back, you can do that. And just breathe. Good. And now we're going to come on forward onto our forearms. So let yourself try to not clasp your hands, but get your forearms parallel to each other. Spread your fingers out, right? And see how that feels when you think about lifting up your heels into dolphin pose here. And if you come up like this and you're like, yeah, that is so not for me, You know, and I've many times tried to adjust to letting that be my real easy way, but it just, my shoulders just don't agree with that. So if you want to come down, clasp your hands. Instead of having your hands apart like that, your forearms apart, do it. And if you want to send legs up the wall, now's the time. Not necessary, you know that. Be mindful. Rest if you need to. You do not have to do any of the inversion here unless you want to. And if you come down and rest and you know you want to go up again, you know you can. Now we're going to come on up and around to sitting. So take your time. Let your legs come on around in front of you. Let your legs come out long for a second. Lean back. Move through your feet and your ankles a little bit. Let yourself do some wiper blades, or you may want to sit up and do some little leg bounces. Let your legs feel good. All right. You can even massage them a little bit. You can come into massaging down the sides of your legs so that you come from up here all the way down to above your knees, from the outside all the way maybe till you get to the top of your thighs, and so it feels good. Or play with your kneecaps. I love to play with my kneecaps. And then from here, come far enough away from the wall to where when you bend your knees and you walk your feet back and they're on the floor as we prepare for a little boat pose, lift your heels up and let your balls of your feet be on the floor, and then lean back a little bit. Now, you know, you can clasp your hands behind your thighs, or you can hold on separate. But see if you can just slowly start to rise the legs up where the lower legs are parallel to the floor. Now, if possible, really hold your legs. So try not to tense up. Try to let your arms be holding your legs, right? From there, as you exhale, let one leg extend up longer, and when you inhale, let it come back down. So when you exhale, extend the other leg back up, and when you inhale, let it come back down. If you can do a couple more of those, do. If you're like, yeah, no way, that is not my thing. And then take your time, come back with both legs about parallel to the floor with your lower legs. Try to let go of your legs for a second. And of course, your tendency then is to tense up, you know, and try this. Try putting your hands on the outside, right above your knees of your legs. Press your legs into your hands. And then see if you can extend your legs up, pressing into your hands with your legs. All right? See if that helps at all. See if that can help you not find quite so much tension in your hip flexors. And then bend your knees again. Let yourself stay there for a breath. And now just play however you want. Maybe one more time, extending your legs, maybe extending your arms, maybe not, maybe holding on to your legs, maybe pulling your legs in towards you, which really enables you to get into that flat low back, right? It helps you really get into, feels like a huge take your time. Be mindful. You can come down whenever you choose. You know that from your bridge. Find that release of bringing the knees in towards the chest. And start to listen to your own body. There might be something else that sounds really good at this point in time for you to do. Might mean that you'd like to come into another pose or movement, or you may feel like really the main thing you want to do is get ready to be in your Shavasana. I'm going to walk around and get lights. I'll come bring stuff. Those of you at home, my phone for some reason is like totally out of battery. It's about to die. So I'm going to come off here now. And if you're watching, it will be recorded onto the page. And you can, but go into your Shavasana and stay as long as you'd like now.